Good morning. Welcome to Mindset Monday. How is your summer going, guys? Feels good. Sun's out. Ah, well, I'm excited to be here. And today, as you guys are filing in, I want to talk about hiring a salon or spa manager. And whether you are needing to hire somebody because your business is moving in that direction that you want to hire somebody, or because you had the unfortunate event that one of your leaders quit. So, one or the other, I want to talk about the do's and do nots, the do's and don'ts of hiring. So, I see a few people filing in. It's good to see you. Want to see if anybody on our Facebook page can hear me and make sure that that's working okay. So anyone on Facebook, jump in and let me know. And all right, guys. So I think there's like two different categories here of hiring a leader, and I want to talk about those two different options, I guess, or categories. So if you're like me and you've had a manager before, and all of a sudden your manager calls you or comes into your office and says, "Can I talk to you?" I hate when people say that. "Can I talk to you for a minute?" I always go to worst case scenario. Do you guys go to worst case scenario? I always think to myself, they're out of here. Just put your resignation letter on my desk. And do we need to talk about it? Because it just like wrecks me every time I hear the opening statement. "Do you have a minute? Can we talk?" So I have PTSD. I mean, I make it mean a certain thing. I have feelings about it. So, but look, the natural state of our business is that people come and people go. And so we have to be able to acclimate and be ready for those times when we need to elevate our business and hire somebody or replace somebody. So I'm going to first talk about this. The scenario one I'm going to talk about, which is that one of your managers quits and you are in major panic mode and you're like, "Oh my God, I need to hire a new manager and I need to do it quick because I only have 2 weeks from the time that my current manager told me that they were leaving." Um, Usually, as a side note, my material here is coming from clients that I'm working with. And so it seems like there's not a trend, but I have a lot of clients right now that are looking to either elevate and hire a manager or they have to replace a manager that they had. And what I'm noticing, and I don't know if this is happening out there in the world, but what I'm noticing, it's multiple, I have multiple clients this is happening to. They want a quick fix, which I totally understand. Look, being in business for 32 years, I have done quick fixes. I have taken band-aids and spackle and tried to patch things back together. And what I forget sometimes in the moment of my panic and despair is that those things don't hold water for a long time. And that when we're making a big decision, like having a leader come into our business, we have to think about the long term impact and effects. And the other week, or this past week, I put a post on my Instagram page called Team Optics. And this factors into how we hire and who we hire. It's not just for us, but it's how does our team feel about the decisions that we're making and how do we make sure to stay in front out of our maybe feeling of desperation or panic and be able to continue to lead our team. So the way I see it is when we're looking for a leader, we can go in two different directions down two different roads. Road one, not that one is better than the other, but they're just different. Road one is I look outside, external hiring. So I put an ad out and I look for a leader outside. Option two is I do an internal promotion with one of my existing staff. I've seen both be successful and I've seen both fail horribly. And I myself, you can imagine over decades of being a business owner, I've tried both and I've had both outcomes. And so I'm speaking to you from my personal experience and what has worked and what hasn't worked and what I've seen with my clients. So I think when we are in need for a leader in our business, it's because we are looking to elevate what we're doing and we need support with other things so we can divide and conquer. Because we can't do everything, it'll drive us crazy. And so a lot of times what happens is we promote people internally um, out of desperation, not inspiration, or we think, oh, this person, my guest relations person, and they can just be turned into manager. But in the meantime, they have no skills with respect to leadership, empathy, passion for growing a team. They don't have the skill set that you need for them to be an effective leader. And so when you are desperate, you're hiring out of desperation, not inspiration, these issues are going to come up that you put somebody in a position, there's a lack of training, there's probably red flags that have happened over the course of their employment. And because you want to move forward, you are ignoring all of those things and putting somebody in a position that might not be a win for them and a win for the company. So that's like one scenario. The other scenario is we get so desperate, maybe somebody left and we put an ad out for a manager and we bring somebody in and we hire somebody as a leader and they don't know our culture. And so maybe they have some management skills, but they don't have management skills under your roof, under the nuances of your company and your business and how you necessarily make decisions. And those things are so important to keep team trust and team morale. And so I want to talk a little bit about this option or this scenario that you had a leader and one of your leaders quit. So you are in panic mode and you think to yourself, I'm just going to put an ad out to get a new manager. I'm going to say, let's put the brakes on there and take a deep breath and just say, you know what? Let's be strategic around the people that we bring into our culture. Just like I hope when you're hiring stylists, any technicians, you're doing interviews and being strategic that they're going to be a good fit. And when you're in your right mind, not in your panicked mind, you're probably making better decisions than when you think you don't have choices. But I'm here to tell you that you have choices, even if somebody quit and they've been in charge of running your business and you feel left high and dry. I get all those feelings. Again, I've been there. But I'm going to say, let's put the brakes on. And there's a few things to consider and to do prior to bringing another manager in. One of the first things that I would recommend doing, and look, this is my opinion. This isn't like what you need to do in order to be successful necessarily. It's my opinion based on my experience, is having a meeting with your team and letting them know what your plan of action is. That you had somebody that quit, you understand that you relied on this person and not to worry, I'm here. And maybe you find people in your company that you can delegate a few things to, that you can let your team know so-and-so is going to take the reins on scheduling, so-and-so is going to take the reins on if you have an immediate issue that you need to deal with and you can't get a hold of me. So just take a deep breath and consider an interim period so you can get your bearings about you and you can start to plan for success for this just next chapter, next season. So a couple of things that I would be looking at in between leaders, or if you're looking to grow a leader. One is, do I have a manager's job description? And I know if you guys have been following me for a while, I'm always preaching job descriptions. I mean, even clients that I've been coaching for that have been in business for years. Do you have a job description for that? Well, I don't think I have a job description. Okay, no judgment. A lot of us became leaders and we didn't plan the back end organizational pieces prior to jumping into owning a business. So it's okay. Let's create one now. So what do you want in your ideal scenario? A lot of us just put people in a position and compromise what the business needs because they want a warm body. And that never really works out so well. So when we're in this interim pause period, what I think is a great idea is to create a job description. What do you need out of a manager from the organizational pieces? What hours do you need the business covered? What accesses will they have? Everything that you need in order to create success with a leader should be on that job description, along with what the compensation is for that job description. If you're looking to hire a manager, I want to suggest that you have a few job descriptions. You're going to say, well, why would I need a few job descriptions? I'm going to tell you. I think you should have a lead job description where somebody gets hired in as a guest relations position, possibly, and then they could move into a lead role where we can see how they're working as guest relations, see how they're operating. I don't know. I mean, you can tell me a million things in an interview about how great you are, but how I'm really going to know how great you are is by watching you work, watching you show up, looking at your work ethic, and seeing how you interact with the team. So I would have a position that is a lead position, then maybe a manager in training or an assistant manager position, and then a manager position. So I would have these job descriptions and these compensation schedules already sorted out before you're hiring a manager. Again, I don't want you hiring out of desperation. I want you hiring because you know what your company needs and this person inspires you to move forward. This is the same thing if you're hiring internally. If you are opening up a job position internally with your company, you still want to have what is the job description, because the job description, guys, becomes your training schedule. Every single thing from handling cash, if they're handling payroll, if they're doing opening and closing, if they're doing reviews, all of the things on the job description become the training manual or schedule, because those are the things that somebody that's moving into that position is going to need to know how to do and be trained probably by you, so that you can set the standard of the culture, the energy, and the rhythm that you're looking for. So if you're hiring from within, I don't really see anything wrong with that at all. If the people that you're looking as a potential have the skill set that you're looking for. And I don't want you to compromise who you're hiring just because you need somebody. I think one of the biggest things is, and as a leader, as somebody that's running your company, there's certain things that they're going to need to know and be in order to help to elevate your company. This should be like your partner in crime, not somebody that you unload a job to because you don't want to be still caught up in the weeds. Part of the responsibility that we take on as leaders is, if somebody leaves, we have to figure out ourselves how to get that position up and running again. So when you're looking for somebody internally, I want you to look for their leadership skills, how the other team members respect and act around them, how they speak to other people, what the work ethic is, how many times they're calling out sick, are they coming in on time, are they looking the part, are they setting example? And I have this saying that you maybe have heard before from me, which is, be now what you want to become. And I look for somebody, if I want to hire internally, are they being that now? Because it's kind of like looking for a potential partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, right? A potential partner. And you know somebody that maybe could be some potential, you might have a little interest, but they're like an asshole, right? And you're thinking, well, if they would just get with me, they'd be the nicest person ever. It doesn't work like that. When people show up in the world, believe who they show up to be instead of putting on rose-colored glasses around who you want them to be, and then you're disappointed because they're not that person. So get real with yourself. I want you to think about, If I'm thinking of internally promoting somebody, I would put a job offer out there, which we've done before. We've had internal career fairs in our company if we're looking for an educational director, if we're looking for uh, people to go into leadership. And we have an open kind of interview process with different people that might be interested. Somebody might be interested that you don't even know about that's working right under your roof that already knows your culture. But you want to make sure that they have these other skills naturally. And kind of one of the things, the benefits of somebody coming forth and saying that they would be interested, one of the benefits you have is to be able to look at how they've been working and they've been showing up, that person that you need as a leader, not with your rose colored glasses, but literally, they might be a really good candidate for you. But they need to go through the interview process the way anybody else would and go through the job description and accept that position and those wages. So it's not one thing, and I think I talked about this in one of my lives before. Just because somebody is taking on a new role or taking on new responsibilities, you don't up their commission if they're a stylist. You put a new line item on there and you compensate them for that specific job. If you're looking for a leader externally, my recommendation is to not put an ad out for a manager. It's really hard on your staff when they know your culture and you just hire somebody in that maybe has some management experience. They become the manager of your company, but they don't know the culture, they don't know the nuances, they don't know the decision makings and why, and they haven't been in to even build a relationship with your team. I've done that before, and it has never been it's never been a positive experience, a positive outcome long term. So it was a short term fix where I could kind of get some things off my plate, but I really had to fight a lot of fires. So it was more work for me on the flip side of that. So if you put out a ad that you're hiring for a guest relations position, management skills and sales experience is either a must or a bonus. I would put that in the ad. So you have people that maybe 2 years minimum sales and management experience, even though you're hiring for this guest relations role. So when you have people that you're interviewing, you could let them know this is a position that you could grow into over the course of this next year. And when I talked a minute ago about having your 3 different job descriptions, first it's that job description that's guest relations. What is it that they need to learn and what position are you hiring them for immediately? And by hiring somebody for your front desk, for guest relations, they're really learning all of the things. Those are the basics, and they're seeing how the business works, how the company works. If they're thriving in that position, then you can elevate them to lead guest relations person. So they start taking on a little bit more leadership, and that job description has a few more leadership roles, and you're building trust. You are seeing how your team is working with this person. And by the time they move into assistant manager, or 8, 9 months are going by, and yes, they've gotten little raises and little promotions, and you've added a few more things onto their plate. By the time somebody actually gets a manager's job position, which is a huge position if you think about it, because if they leave, it's a huge morale shift for your team. If not saying if someone from guest relations leaves, it's not a huge morale shift, but someone from guest relations hasn't been leading your whole company and then all of a sudden they're gone and you're starting from scratch again. It's much easier to replace somebody that's working your front desk than it is to replace an entire management position and get your team re-enrolled into a new person. So by the time this person is with you for 6 months, 9 months, even a year, your team should be saying to you, really, so and so should just be our manager. They're amazing. They're helping us. They're supportive. I feel like they have my back. They're leading the cause. That's the position you want to be in so that you can have an easy transition really into this full manager's role. And I will tell you, I may have told this story before, but I'll tell you again. When we opened our third location, we um, had we put an ad out for a manager. So this is one of my learned from experiences. We put an ad out for a manager, and this gal answered the ad, and she had been a manager in a salon spa in another for our industry. And I was so excited. I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. And she was really familiar with the products that we carried. They carried the same products and everything. So I thought she's going to be a perfect fit to just slide right in. But little did I know that, and I had to learn this the hard way, that the decisions that she was making was based on the culture from her last company, not from our culture. So she could have really benefited from just being trained on being front desk guest relations and then learning to see. And I should have given her that opportunity, because I didn't set her up to succeed when I put her in as a manager position. And then I had to keep going in and fighting all these fires. So when she didn't work out, she didn't work out, even though on paper she looked like the perfect person, I put an ad out for guest relations with someone with minimum 2 years management experience, 2 years sales experience. And it got answered by somebody that had a ton of experience, leadership experience, 20 years of leadership experience. And the interview was tough because I wanted to put this person in as a manager because I saw their skill set. We connected right away. But I refrained from doing that. And I said, look, I don't want to insult your experience, but this is how I'm going to have to do this now. I'm going to have to hire you as guest relations. In the event that that's going really well, I'm then going to move you into a lead role. And once that goes really well, I'm going to move you into manager in training role. And each step of the way, it's going to be based on the job description, which is our training manual, and also how you're interacting and leading the team. And so if the team is responding to you and they feel that's an obvious choice, I'm not going to go around and do a poll. We're going to know if they are responding to you, then we'll move you into that position. And it was tough for him because he had so much experience and had to really humble himself to learn the way that we did business. But I will tell you that it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And he was with us for years. And he, I think, ended up becoming full manager in 9 months. It was probably 9 months that it took. And even after 9 months and even after a year, there were still cultural nuances and decision-making strategies that we as a company that we've been in business for decades that we made that he didn't know about. So it was still a learning process after 9 months. I mean, think about a 9-month employee that you've had. They don't know every single thing about your business. They don't know about how you make decisions. Well, it's the same thing with somebody that's working as a leader. And so when you are looking, what I'm going to throw out that you should be looking for is somebody that has a passion for the industry and a passion for managing. Managing is hard. Managing can be like babysitting on one end because you're kind of managing the rules and the regulations and the guidelines. So you have to have that in you to be able to do that and love that. If you don't love working with people, leading people, it's going to be a tough road for you then to hire this person as a leader, as a manager. So somebody that has a passion for our industry, somebody that has empathy and communication, they need to be able to connect not only with your customers, but with your staff. And they need to be able to meet them where they are, not where they think they should be. And I think that's like a trait of any great leader, is to be able to meet people where they are and not pull them in a direction that you need them to be in order to hear what you have to say. Everybody's going to be at a different place in their life, and a great manager can find out where their people are and meet them there. So empathy and communication and natural leadership skills. And look, I have had different types of leaders, and we do have different types of leaders in our company. We have leaders that are great operationally. We have leaders that are like great communicators with staff, and they have a strength in one department or another, one compartment in their brain or another. I'm definitely looking for somebody that is a great communicator with the staff, that brings enthusiasm, that brings passion, and that can light up a room. And then I'm going to have you learn these organizational pieces. So if you think about what motivates you and what type of leader you feel is going to be right for your team, look for those traits in people that you're interviewing. This is not a role, a manager's role, somebody to run your company and take your company to the next level. This is not a time to hire out of desperation. This is a time to hire because you're inspired by what this person brings. And so, I mean, I don't know how much more to say about that. This isn't just about filling a position, it's about partnering with somebody for growth. And who do you want that partner to be? Um, so, again, take a step back. If you're looking for somebody, take a step back, get your job description sorted. You can open up interviewing internally to your existing people or externally on ads. I'm not saying ads are bad, but before you have those ads, you need to write down exactly what you're looking for so that you can interview people specifically to the job you're looking for, to the hours that you're looking for with no compromise. So let me know if this helps. I hope it does, because this is a really important role that you are incorporating into your business. And that could either help you or it could be detrimental to you. So, leadership is huge, as you know, right? It's everything. And team optics are everything. So, make sure your team is being communicated with along the way and that you're setting this precedent for what you will accept and what you won't accept in your business. So, I hope this helps. I hope this will kick off your Monday. If you're looking at bringing in new people to help elevate your company, let me know if there's any other topics you guys want me to conquer. When I see you on Mondays, I'll be off for the next few Mondays. I'm going on vacation for a few weeks. But in any way, if you need to reach out and talk a bit about this on a more personal level, specific to your situation, if you're here and listening, you know how to reach me. Send me a DM. You can directly book in my bio on the link. You can directly book a consultation with me. It's complimentary. So I hope you guys have a great week. Make good choices out there. And I'll see you when I get back in July. So on my Facebook page, you'll see when our next events are. My Mindset Mondays are always going to be under events on my Carrie Davis Consulting Facebook page. So I think my next one might be on the 8th, July 8th. So have a great week, you guys. Bye.